It has long been my contention that the Moorman photo was actually taken by the Babushka lady. I years ago made a video on that, but I don't have one up on my channel now because this is just kind of submerged in my consciousness for a while, dealing with other parts of the assassination. But it has been driven to the surface again by recent developments in my thinking, where I recently have been saying that I thought the Babushka lady was tending Joey Brem while Charles Brem was on Houston Street standing in for James Alkins. And I thought she was tending Joey over on the left side of Moorman and Hill, as we can see in the Bond photo here where she is, and that's why Charles Brem ran to that position to be with Joey afterwards. But the trouble with this interpretation is that it means that the Babushka lady is not actually standing where we see her in the Zapruder film. And if she's not there and over where I think she is in the where she is in the Bond film, and I think she was there at the time of the assassination, if that were true, then she could not have taken the Moorman photo. So this is a conflict in my interpretation of the assassination events, which I must resolve, and which I have resolved in favor of the Babushka lady actually being in the position we see her in the Zapruder film, because I'm certain she took the Moorman photo. And that means I need another explanation for who's tending Joey. But I'm not going to deal with Joey in this video. This is going to be a rehash of why I think the Babushka lady took the Moorman photo. Now, one reason to doubt that Moorman took this photo is that she's there waiting for her big chance to take a photo of the president. We see she takes a photo of the motorcyclist Lumpkin, just the way you'd expect, while he's approaching and his face is visible. She takes her picture of Lumpkin. It shows she knows how to use a camera. She knows how to wait for the right moment to take a picture. And even though the quality of this photo sucks, it's still a good picture. She took it at the right moment. And yet, in the Moorman photo, we get the back of the president's head, the back of Jackie's head. She waited until the car passed her, and then she took a photo to her left where you can't see the faces of the subjects. That seems very strange. And it seems so strange, I think, even to Moorman herself, that here in this latter-day interview, she describes taking her photograph as if she took it while the car was approaching her and she could see the president's face.
When the limousine turned the corner, as I'd say, I had been in the street taking the picture of Lumpkin,
Right.
and the limousine turned the corner and was coming towards me, and I focused, or I don't know that I focused, but I looked in the camera to watch the car as it approached.
Right.
And looking up the area, waiting for him to get close enough, and Gene hollered, "Mr. President, look this way, we want to take a picture."
Uh-huh.
And as I thought he was where I wanted it to be, I snapped the picture.
So how can this be where she wanted it to be? How can she be saying that this is the photo she wanted to take of the president when he's already passed her and all you can see is the back of his head? That doesn't make sense. And the other reason I came to doubt her authorship, Moorman's authorship of the Moorman photo, is that in the Zapruder film, to me it looks like she's holding her camera absolutely steady, pointing it to her right. Even as the car passes, her camera is still pointing to the right. Now this, I think, is where the limo stop was removed from the Zapruder film. I think the car was actually stopped or driving very slowly to her right. And I think that she took her picture where she's pointing her camera here, which is to her right. Even as the car passes, she's still pointing the camera to her right. And I think that's because she's holding that camera steady to snap her picture of the president as he is approaching not after he had passed her. But how could this not be the Moorman photo? How could it have been switched with some other photo? Well, we know that Jim Featherston took possession of her photo almost immediately. We can see in this photograph, Jim Featherston is appropriating that photo here. It left her possession for a period of time. I don't know how long. It's not clear to me how long it was out of her control. But it left her possession almost immediately, and then she was given a photo and told that it was her photo, and it was somebody else's photo. There was something in her photo they, that is the conspirators, the conspiracy didn't want us to see, so they had another photo that they could switch with it, and that became known as the Moorman photo, even though it was not taken by Moorman. And to judge from the photography, there is only one other person who could have taken the Moorman photo other than Moorman, and that's the Babushka lady. And here in a frame from the Much More film, we can see the Babushka lady at almost exactly the same moment she took the Moorman photo. I think the motorcyclist has to move a little more in front of her before she takes that picture. But that's my explanation. And you can look over at Moorman on the left there. You can't be certain, but it looks like she's already lowering her camera and moving it away from her face a little bit. There's no doubt in my mind the Babushka lady took the Moorman photo, and it probably was her job, the Babushka lady, who's not Beverly Oliver. Sorry, Beverly. But I don't think it's Beverly Oliver. It could be Beverly Oliver, I suppose, but if it is, she's not telling the truth. It was the Babushka lady's job, I think, to take photographs in case they needed to switch one out with Marianne Moorman's photography. I think this was a very controlled event on Elm Street, even with the spectators. Not all of them, and I'm not saying Marianne Moorman was a member of any conspiracy, but I think she was controlled. And I think they knew Moorman was going to be there, and I think they wanted to have the Babushka lady there. Presumably she had a Polaroid camera, though I can't prove that, but I think she did not have a movie camera. And so she would be taking pictures even after the president had passed, since they would want from her as many pictures as possible so that they could be used in any way they needed. So, and even if you think Charles Brem is really there at this time, and I don't, but even if you think that, this still works because it's after Charles Brem would be out of her frame. So there's no doubt in my mind that the Babushka lady took the Moorman photo. And somehow Marianne Moorman just doesn't realize that. So it is my judgment, it is still my judgment, even in 2023, that the Babushka lady took the Moorman photo.